Go.
Okay, and I'm going to give you the assignments to email them right now.
Okay.
Oh. Okay, let me, you want to just type it because it's going to be a type thing. It's going to be a YouTube.
That's fine.
So, good morning. Because I wonder if there's some people who come in for the first hour and then some people who do the assignment for the second hour but aren't present for the first hour. Is that it happening?
I don't see that happen.
Okay. Good morning. Okay, so
I can send out their stuff here in just a moment.
okay.
I have to get the roll call done.
Okay. This is what it's going to be right here. Okay. They're going to type this exact, I'll put in the chat too, but for people who may not get it. So, and they're going to type that exactly.
Okay. And
they're going to do what they've done previously. Good morning. I'm going to shut my door here in case y'all getting sound from the mic on the radio out there. How we doing? Did y'all know that it's Friday? This is exciting. Yay, Friday. Okay. We're diving into, hi, Kelsey. I hope you're feeling better. Glad to see you online. No, really seriously, guys, I'm really glad that it's Friday. You're going to take out that assignment that you had from last night, answering some questions. You may have found that they are a little tricky, but again, it's just reviewing that information. So it looked like this. This is what you received in an email. So you're going to take that out, and we're going to go over those answers. Now today, for the purpose of making sure that everyone actually listens and is participating throughout the day, I may be calling your name out and asking you to answer a question for me, okay? That is the level of participation. So, oh, good, Kelsey. Well, next week you'll be shampooing and blow drying here at the North Campus with Molly and Megan. We have a new girl starting on Tuesday that graduated here, and I'm so looking forward to seeing her and having her here. She graduated a few years back. Looking forward to having her. So I want your attention as we go through this. In our first segment, I'm going to just go ahead and give you answers to the last night's assignment, and then I may call upon you and give you a couple of questions, each one of you, to see what level of participation you are engaged in here online with me. You know, when you have that coffee and then you're just dehydrated and you need that water, that's what's happened to me. You have that, those couple of, do I have coffee drinkers out there? Where's my little emoji? My people who put the coffee emojis on there. So, okay, let's go ahead and get started. We're 3 minutes in. So the first question that you had on your handout from last night is the conversion of living cells into dead cells. This one's probably one of the, oh, there we go, coffee, woohoo! Y'all are fast at that. Yes, I know, Olivia, and that's what I did initially, and then we stopped by Taco Shack real quick, and I got some eggs in a little platter without the tortilla, and then the little bit of bacon in there, and that'll hold me out till about 4 o'clock, and then I'll be, yeah, I'm in. Hi, Victoria. So can y'all give me the answer of what you put on the first one for me? And we'll just start that off like that. Conversion of living cells into the dead cells. What is that called? What was number 1? The conversion. I know I'm jumping y'all off to a great start, but you know what? Let's pretend that we just had our coffee and excellent. Keratinization. They got it.
Hey.
Hey, they got it. Woohoo! Nice. Okay, keratinization. It's like putting on our running shoes after we have coffee, and we got to get this day started. Okay. All right, next, number 2. What contains tactile corpuscles known as nerve endings that react to skin secretions? Sensations, sorry. See, maybe I need more coffee. What contains the tactile corpuscles known as nerve endings that react to the skin sensation? So there could be a variety of answers here. So don't beat yourself up. There's not really a way to normally. Gosh, it can be papillary layer. It can be the deepest layer. Exactly. So perfect. Papillary layer, deepest layer. Those of you just checking in, I know, Olivia, it's a tough one. So remember, we have those little cone-shaped objects that are bouncing along. So they're closer to the papillary layer, but they are in the dermis layer because the dermis layer is divided into 2, papillary and reticular. So both answers are correct. I'm going to actually write that down on my little notes for the next time this sheet may come around. Okay. Number 3. Blank is a slender thread-like outgrowth of the skin and the scalp. So a couple of these things you haven't seen and we haven't put in our notes, so that you will just compile these additional items that you see that could be on that test. Yesterday when we did those state board questions, that was good, right? And I was so proud of y'all telling me how much you enjoyed those YouTube videos, because your assignment is to do another YouTube video today after this first hour. I'm going to go ahead and put it in the chat box. It is going to be whoops. Oh, I don't want to report anything. Here we go. It is going to be the YouTube skin. This is what you're going to type in the box. It's going to be skin histology and physiology, chapter 10 by Kristen Brown. So this is going to be our last day on histology. And then we'll be rolling right into, so we're going to circle around all the theory chapters over this time period that you're on distance learning. So we're just going to circle around. It's a different week every 8 weeks. Some of you who have been on distance learning, you may have already gone through ecology and bacteriology, but maybe you only participated a smidge and really not the full week. So you don't have as many hours. So you can just participate in that again. So your assignment is in the chat box. And Katie will also write that out for you in an email form in case there are people who are not online this morning. But again, it's the YouTube Skin Histology and Physiology, Chapter 10, Kristen Brown. Take some very good notes that are worthy of giving you 1 hour credit. We don't want 3 sentences. 3 sentences is not worthy of getting an hour. Good morning, Valeria and Vicki. We've got one more YouTube assignment after this hour, and we are simply going over the answers to this sheet that was issued to you last night. And so here we go. Our next question. Cell replacement of bones happens how often? Oh, I see. No problem. Okay, so our cell replacement of bones happen how often? Yes, Ashley, like a page of notes or sketches. It could be anything like that. Just put some worthiness, Well, Vicki, that con one was super good, wasn't it? I think the con, so I like the first one and the second one maybe a little better. Than Kristen, but Kristen's good too. And again, it's reiteration. It's just putting that all up in your brain. Okay, it is every 7 years. So bones replace and the cellular replacement every 7 years. Fantastic. Good job, everybody. Okay, so next we have, are we on number 5? 5. We get our skin and our hair color from melanin. And again, real quickly, on the melanin, which one is our red and yellow melanin? How is that? What is the term for the red and yellow melanin? pigment, where it's lighter skin and lighter eyes. Like myself, I have the blue eyes and my hair is an ash blonde. So I don't have melanin, but I have oh, that's fine, Chloe. That's good. Don't y'all think Chloe should come back and take the instructor course and do all of this online education for me? Big shout out to you, girl. Okay, melanin, fantastic. Felice? Yeah, I know, Marina. It's hard to spell. Okay, here we go. Number 6, what protects our fingers and toes? What y'all put for that one? And I have to say, this this sheet was something I had found that someone created a long time ago. So I kind of had to look through it myself, and could be a little confusing. I want y'all to know that. Don't worry about it. We're just having fun. We're just learning, getting our hours. Good. Nails. Nails protect our fingers and our toes. We have the nail plate. We have the nail body. We have the bed. Okay, number 7. The blank is the largest organ of the body. Now, if you'll notice in your word box, the word skin was not there, but there was another word. So the largest organ of the body is the integumentary system. Tegumentary system. Perfect. But that means the skin. Y'all are doing great. Okay, number 8. Blank produces oil to protect the surface of the skin. And now we're not talking about sweat. Sweat regulates the body temperature. We're talking about providing oil to our scalp when our hair gets really greasy, oil to our skin. And so we all know that the layman's term for it would be oil, but it is the sebaceous gland. So again, we are remembering that the sebaceous gland is called the oil gland, and we are not going to forget that. We're going to get it right on our examination. Okay. Number 9, the blank is more active during emotional changes, and odors are produced. So emotional changes, which one of these word bank answers actually provide like an odor? Good. Sudoriferous glands. I love seeing the word sudoriferous. And in parentheses in your word bank, you are reminded that the sudoriferous gland is the term for sweat gland. Excellent. I'm sorry. Perfect. Apocrine. So there are two sweat glands, but the one that's odor is apocrine. My mistake. Maybe I do need that extra cup of coffee, Katie. I actually did miss about a half a cup because we had to get out of the house. I'm sorry.
Cup of coffee.
But doesn't it all blend together? Y'all are going to have to let me off the hook on that one. Okay. The next one. What insulates the body and will act as a shock absorber? A shock absorber. Did y'all read on the Twitter this morning? I don't do a lot of Twitter, but I have selective articles that I like to read or get notifications on. This young 9-year-old boy was trapped, and the headline said he was trapped under a Jeep in his bedroom. So I'm like, okay, I have to click on this and figure out what they are trying to tell us. This Jeep was driving erratically, way too fast, consumed too much alcohol, and ran into a home. And the Jeep went through his bedroom, and he came out without a scrape, but he was trapped under there for an hour trying to get him out from under this Jeep that landed in his bedroom. Can you imagine? This poor little 9-year-old, he said he lost his room is all messed up. His what is it called? The those gaming systems. That's all messed up. His bike is damaged. Poor little boy. So scary. Okay. Horrible. Can you imagine? He will need to get some therapy for PTSD, I'm sure, because that is some scary stuff to live with for the rest of your life. A Jeep going through your bedroom? Unbelievable. Sometimes I read really healthy, wonderful, fun things on the morning Twitter and stuff that are encouraging. And then some days I see some horrible things, but this, and that little 9-year-old boy said, "This is all your fault. This is all your fault. Look what you did to my room and me and my PlayStation and my bike." Poor little guy. Can't imagine. I think his name is Jameson. Yeah. Second floor. That's a good idea. You know, I lived out in the country, and a lot of farmhouses, they'll be built right there on a curve. Right, Katie? I don't know why these homes like to be built right on the curve of a country road, which can be dangerous. But, oh, wow. A cow dropped through the roof on his bed. Oh, my gosh. Well, let me tell you, we had some little critters up in our attic, you know, and I'm always the critter person at the house. I take care of all the critters because I don't mind picking up frogs and I don't mind bugs and stuff like that. So growing up in a small town, you just get used to it. So I climb up in the attic to set my traps and do what I need to do for these little critters up there. So Ryan, my son, is so excited. He wants to go up in the attic and see what that's all about. And I'm like, Ryan. No, you cannot go up there because I have to teach you. And I said, Ryan, you see all these little boards. You can't just like walk around. It's not a tree house or a playhouse. I said, I have to teach you because one day you could be up in an attic and you will fall through that flooring up there. And if you were in a home that had a 20-foot ceiling because they have like a catwalk or something, we have that. And I said, and if you were to just walk around up there, you could just fall right through there. So all these things that we have to teach young people. So he quickly learned like, oh my goodness, Mom. So that's your daily soapbox talk from me today. Okay, I'm off of Kelly and Ryan's show. All right, here we go. We are on we said that insulates the body and acts as a shock absorber. Let me look back and see what y'all put. Got to scroll up. Adipose tissue. Perfect. That's our adipose tissue, subcutaneous tissue, and all that good stuff. Great, Monica. That's perfect. You can do two things at one time. Okay. Love your little emojis. Okay, here we go. Number 11. Blank is where the aging process takes place. The aging process takes place in this layer. So where does the aging process take place? There could be a variety of answers from your word bank. A variety of answers right there. So the variety of answers, we know that aging is going to take place wherever collagen and elastin live. So collagen and elastin live in the dermis layer. And in the dermis layer, I'll check that, Ashley. In the dermis, it's adipose or fatty tissue, subcutaneous hypodermis. So it's perfect. It could be living layer. It could be dermis. Let me see what other options y'all had on this one. Living layer and dermis are pretty much the best answers. Now, yesterday y'all learned on state board questions. Sometimes this layer is either called the outermost layer or the innermost layer. So, which one would it be? Well, it would be the innermost layer. So, innermost layer could be a word bank option for you as well. Okay, number 12. What is typically found on the soles and the palms, that there's a typographical error in that word, soles and palms and lips. We know that this is a clear, thick layer. We know there's no hair follicles in this layer. We know that it's glassy and, glassy. Lucidum, good, lucidum. All right. Skin ways. Now that could be a question that we did not cover, so I was glad to pull this worksheet of questions and answers just to make sure we cover all the bases on these questions, because there are 3 rotating state board examinations. So if you take it one time, you're not going to get the same test. You'll be taking a different test. If you and a friend go test on the same day, one gets one test, one gets another test. So we have no idea what kind of questions are going to be thrown our way. Okay, so the skin weighs approximately 7 pounds, everyone. So make sure you got that one right. Number 15. What stimulates the erector pili muscle? This one's a little tougher when you look at the word bank choices. So we know that we know that the erector pili muscle is going to be stimulated. It's going to stand up on end. The hair is going to stand up on end, and that's going to be due to your nervous system. So those little tactile corpuscles that are along that papillary layer, they're going to go in there and dance around and react when you're cold or when you have fear. So it's the motor nerve fibers. Yeah, it was a toughie, Mallory. Don't worry about it. It was a toughie. We never really talked about it, to be honest. Number 13. Let me go back and see what that one was. Oh, gosh, that was my fault. Our prickly and spiny layer, number 13, that mends those layers together and starts to absorb the melanin from the basal germinativum. So it's picking it up. It's that spiny layer that's mending those together. So that is our spinosum. Okay, good. Y'all are getting it. So we talked about the skin weighing approximately 7 pounds. Number 15, what stimulates the erector pili muscle? Stimulating that was the motor nerve endings or tactile corpuscles. It could also be the Meissner's corpuscles. There's a variety of answers. But according to the word bank, we're going to put motor nerve. So number 17, what is found all over the body, primarily on the forehead, palms, and soles, and they do not produce odor. So it can be found all over the body. It's going to contribute to the acid mantle barrier function that we have. Perfect. Eccrine gland. If you put the sudoriferous sweat gland, that's good too. So either one would be fine. Make sure what number we're on. Okay, number 18. Number 18, blank is the transformation stage, when we're transforming the stage from the living cells to the dead cells. And the key word in this question is the texture is granular. So that is our granulosum. I have to admit, number 19 was a little bit wackadoodle on the question. So let's just do the best we can for the interpretation, especially that last one. I looked at the word key and I'm like, what in the world? You know, those of you who have written tests before, oh, let me see, I'm confused. Did you say, okay, granulosum. Let me check number 16. 16. Oh, y'all, I need to keep these glasses on, but I know I look goofy sometimes. I'm missing it because I'm not keeping the glasses on. Okay, 16 regulates the body temperature and eliminates waste. So what regulates the body temperature? Eliminates waste products by excreting sweat. So that right there is going to be the sudoriferous gland, which is our sweat gland. It's going to regulate our body temperature because sweat is going to allow us to cool off, and it's going to take away the waste and excrete the sweat. 17 is found all over the body. It could be the sudoriferous gland. That could be the same answer, but it's really the eccrine gland. The eccrine gland, for the technical part of that, is found all over the body. So 16 technically is sudoriferous sweat, and 17 is eccrine, which is also another term for a sweat gland. Hope that clears that up. Sorry about that. Somebody knocking. All right, number 18. That granular texture between the transformation, you bet, girls, the transformation stage between the living and the dead cells, and it's granular. That's the granulosum. So number 18 is granulosum. Okay, number 19. Hopefully I'm not going too fast. I gave you all a minute to get that confusion I had set in rectified. Stratum germinativum is also called the stratum mucosum, but in the middle of that blank, we know that it's called the basal layer. So stratum germinativum, also known as basal, in my old term that I learned in beauty school is mucosum. And this layer contains the melanin. Yes, we're on 19. So 19 is basal in the first blank. We have several blanks in that one. So germinativum, basal, stratum mucosum, 3 terms for 1 layer. And we know that, let me see here, number 9. We know that this is the deepest, the second blank on number 19 is deepest layer that contains melanin. So the answer in that one is going to be the deepest layer. So we know that's the deepest layer of all the epidermis layers, okay? It's responsible for the growth of the what? Living layer. So the first blank is basal. Like I said, number 19 is just an absolutely wonky question. It wasn't my question, it's somebody's, and I should have looked it over better, but I thought it was kind of fresh, but we're just doing the best we can. It's just a review, and it's more like talking points, so you're not getting a grade or anything, so just hang in there with me. Okay, so basal, and then responsible for the growth of the living layer, and it's, oh wait, I'm sorry. I'm going to just read it from the get-go. Let me get, okay, stratum germinativum, basal layer, stratum mucosum, deepest layer that contains the melanin, responsible for the growth of the, what did y'all put in that one when you determined it? I put living layer. You could put dermis. And it's better known as the, so you could put deepest layer right in there if you wanted to, or you could put living layer. All of these terms would be interchangeable in those blanks. That's why I said it's a very wonky question. So let's just have a talking point on this one. It takes, how many days does it take for it to live, shed, and finally die? So a long time ago, the textbook source said 25 to 28 days. You might see some varying answers on this one. The other day, the new textbook is showing 25 to 42 days. So quite a bit of difference there in that answer. So whatever that multiple choice question test, I don't even think that was a question on there. So we're going to say 25 up to 42 days. But yeah, Chloe, like 25 to 48 days. So we're just going to say anywhere between 25 and 50 days. How's that sound? Geez. Everything's so subjective. Okay. Is there any, and then I didn't understand on this blank basal layer is a blank thick. I think what we were trying to interpret on this question, whoever wrote it, basal layer is the deepest layer that is thick. I'm looking at my word bank of what else it could be. So let's just move on. How's that sound? Sorry. If you want to draw an X through that question, you can, but I think you get the picture. Basically, the stratum germinativum, basal, and mucosum, it's responsible for melanin. It's the mitosis. It's where mitosis happens and creates its daughter cells. Melanocytes are melanosomes are pulling the melanin up into that layer. The spinosum is grabbing a little bit of it. Some limited mitosis, remember, in the spinosum layer. So this layer here is responsible for the living layer. It's going to take a while, 25 up to 42 days to transfer through those layers and finally die off. It is the deepest and thickest layer. It's vascular. So we're just going to sum up number 19 with the talking points. Number 20, skin, heart, liver, kidney cells are replaced every what? 6 to 9 months. And we covered that the other day in our notes. Now, yesterday we talked a whole lot about the aging process, and we talked about collagen and elastin, and we talked about different things that we could There you go, Jessica. Thank you. We talked a lot about collagen and elastin and how we can stimulate those fibroblasts and get them going. So there's an option in your word bank that that lets us know, oh, single layer, that's what Con's picture showed. Cool. So which one of those word bank answers would stimulate, basically, that's what the question is saying, stimulate the fibroblasts and get them to like act and get them to exercise, get them to move around? What is going to help stimulate those? Well, if we're eating properly and we're drinking water, we're getting sleep, we can do it that way. We can take a collagen supplement, but yes, Chloe, it's the vitamin A and the alpha hydroxy acid chemical peels. Perfect. And we also know that microdermabrasion can help too. Okay, good. Now on the matching. Matching. There was a few on here that I thought were good for you to sort of have some thought process on. A little bit tricky, I would say. I just was looking at them a few minutes ago before I turned the screen on. Okay, we'll start with the letters and match to the numbers. How does that sound? So we'll start on the right. Skin contains water that helps keep the skin moist, supple, and soft. So A would match up with which of the 1 through 8? Skin contains water that keeps the skin moist, soft, and supple. So where would A go? Perfect. Number 2. Awesome. Hydration. So hydration is going to keep our skin soft, supple, moist, etc. So does that mean we need to drink a lot of water? You betcha. We want to feed and flush the skin, nourishing the skin with the water, keeping us nice and hydrated, contributing to the collagen and elastin. Okay, just listen, Olivia. Okay, number 2. Letter B. What eliminates sweat, salt, wastes, and toxins through the skin through perspiration? So where would number B, which number matches up with B? Eliminates sweat, salt, waste, toxins through perspiration. I'm looking for my answer to see which one I got. Did y'all put B? Good. Don't get excretion and secretion mixed up, right, Katie? We were just talking about that. Mm-hmm. It's a difficult one. It's easy to get the two terms confused. So B should match with number 4, secretion. It's hard doing this distance learning this way with a matching. Okay, C. The skin takes oxygen through the pores and releases carbon dioxide. So which one's going to match? The skin takes oxygen through pores and releases carbon dioxide. I'm going to look for my answer, what I would put on this one. And I see it. Which number would it be? Yes, Ashley. And the answer should be 5, respiration. Respiration takes oxygen through pores and releases carbon dioxide. How many of you have experienced one thing I just read not too long ago, or I watched, and y'all may have seen it on, I don't know, Facebook, YouTube, internet. There's a nurse that recently came out, for those of you who have had panic attacks or have had repeated panic attacks or extreme anxiety. You know, that's called respiratory alkalosis. So respiratory alkalosis is a whole carbon dioxide. That's what reminds me of this question, this respiration. And this wonderful nurse gave this long presentation. She said the treatment for panic or an anxiety attack, which I'm sure in all of our lives we've experienced, in me more than the normal human being, but just a little bit. And this lady says, you know, you go Yes, Vicki, it's easy to get those two backwards. She said, let me show you the treatment. And she gets a paper bag and she shows you blowing in and blowing out it because it's a carbon dioxide issue. And so one time when I went to go get treatment through a very, very well-known UT professor who teaches at the University of Texas on respiratory alkalosis, I went to his house there on Lake Austin, gorgeous house, and I went to see him a few times, and we discussed my carbon dioxide problem. And he had a respiratory, I mean, he had a CO2 tank on the floor, and he wanted me to put the mask on my face and to breathe it in. And he said, the minute you put your face over that mask over your face, you're going to start breathing in. It's going to throw you into a panic attack and anxiety attack immediately because I'm not breathing properly. And so I still have a problem understanding how to breathe properly. And I do suffer pretty bad with it. So this whole respiration is truly a real thing. And so he said, Wendi, you have to understand, my college students come over and they learn and they discuss and they just want to play and put that CO2 mask on their face and it doesn't even bother them. So getting used to carbon dioxide and understanding that whole process has been a real learning curve for me. And I'm still learning and I'm still having difficulty with it. So it's not easy for me and my body. So that's an interesting little question there. So just thought I would share my little story with you. So maybe I can help somebody who has anxiety attacks and has to deal with all that. Right. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking now, maybe we should just all carry paper sacks in our bag. That would be the better treatment. And I remember when I used to run track, I would do all the fast distances, the 100-yard dash and the 440-mile relay team. And I would do the hurdles, and I'm only 5'2", so I did good. That's when I was quick. And there would be some girls that were really, really having a lot of anxiety. And I remember the coaches all giving them paper bags. And I thought, that's weird. So that all kind of came back to me. So anyway, try paper bags, guys, for this respiration and the carbon dioxide thing. So the skin is actually doing this. And that was what question was that we were saying? That says that oil, the skin takes oxygen through the pores and then releases carbon dioxide. So, for example, I can't go to the dentist and put that mask on at all. I'm high as a kite, and I go straight into a panic attack. I cannot put it on my face. I've had to yank it off of me before. So it's just kind of interesting. Might want to do a little research on that. Okay, Taylor. All right. So now we are on number, what is it? Okay, I'm looking at the letters. D, oil secreted through the sebaceous glands keeps skin and hair lubricated. So the oil that's secreted through the sebaceous glands. I'm looking for that one. Oh, this is the one that's the opposite, right? Okay, yes. So this one is number 1, excretion. Okay, I keep forgetting I have to look at the letters. Okay. E, what permits substances to enter the skin, such as water and oxygen, and cosmetic creams to penetrate through the hair follicles and the pores. So that's going to be, should be over here. Wait, where's that number? That should be absorption. Yes, number 8. So E and number 8 go together. F, what maintains the body temperature of 98.6 and helps heat and cool down the body. So F needs to go with number 3, heat regulation. Heat regulation through the wonderful sweat glands allows our body to cool and heat and maintain a normal body temperature. Excellent. Thank you for typing that, Jessica. Okay. Then we have G, nerve endings that respond to heat, cold, touch, and pain. So we got to look around over here and determine which the matching it would be. And it should be sensation. Perfect. And our last one on this one is epidermis that is covered with sebum, which keeps the skin waterproof and keeps bacteria and other detriments from the environment from penetrating the skin. I'm looking at mine. Oh, it's right here. Protection. So I'm just going to let y'all know again, I'm going to write it for those of you who may have chimed in just a little bit late or little later. The assignment for the next hour is to go to YouTube, type in these exact words, skin, histology, and physiology, chapter 10, Kristen. I don't know if Kristen is with an E. I think it's E is the way she does it. Kristen Brown, no E on the end of Brown. You're going to type it in exactly like that. Watch the presentation again, and then write me a page, some sketch, put some work into it. We don't want to get one full clock hour. Yeah, I know, Lynn. Me either. And I've been listening to this stuff for so long. It's don't just type me 3 little sentences and have some more integrity, please. Don't type me 3 little sentences, because I don't want to have to call you and say, you know what? Do you really think that hour was well worth it? So when you're getting 6 hours, ladies and gentlemen, put some effort into it. I've got some integrity of my own that I want to hold. So I will do that for all of you. And yeah, Ashley, I'm a bullet point kind of teacher. So I love bullet points. Some teachers, don't. Some people do. You're in great with me when it comes to bullet points. I think that it's the best way to learn. It's a repetition way of learning. Vicky. Katie, log on to Stephanie. Sheila has asked me, is it a full playlist of videos? Should be only just one for her. She has different segments. Maybe that's what you mean, Stephanie. Looks like a playlist. Are we watching all? Oh no. You need to put. Did you write Skin, Histology, and Physiology, Chapter 10, Kristen Brown? Hold on, she's logging in, and I'll show you which one it is. There you go. She's pulling them up, and I'll let you know. Yeah, just the Chapter 10 video. It should be. So hold on one second. It's a playlist? What does that mean? We just want the one that looks like
hold on, let me get into it.
It looks like a model, and it's got the yellow subcutaneous adipose tissue. Isn't it 16 minutes?
It's the first video.
It's the very first video. Does that help you?
We only want the very first video.
Yeah, just the very first video. Yes, that's perfect, Ashley. I love your name on the chat, Death Dog Jitsu. Okay, good. Yeah, just that first video. Again, all it is pushing it into your head. For so long, I wanted Lauren to, or Lauren, my daughter, actually wanted to, for so long, she wanted to be an orthodontist. Oh, yes, project due today, too. And Katie has asked me to make sure that all of you on that project, put that in a separate BBS distance learning, and write on there on the subject 2-hour project due by 5 o'clock so that she can separate that.
If you send
Let me show
some-
you one, Jessica, that one of the girls here at the North Campus did.
Oh. Yeah, because if you send it all in the same email, I will think it's only your assignments.
Isn't that nice? So, please don't put them in the trash or anything either, because there might be like a couple of y'all like, I want in the school. So, it's hard to manage all your time, isn't it? And, you know, don't worry about those 2 hours if you're bogged down. Just tell yourself it's okay. I've done the best I can right now. You know, Chloe, as many things as you can label that we studied would be awesome. You know, I'll show you this one again. See how this person had put all the little labels around there? Now that person typed them. You can handwrite them. So anyway, I was going to just finish by telling y'all that I really, Lauren wanted to be an orthodontist, and she, seems like my son, my daughter, and I, we all have this, sure, Ashley, go ahead and chat it out. Oh, Vicky. You know, a lot of times, a lot of everything in life is memorization, but people who want to be like medical doctors, really and truly being a medical doctor, and Katie's brother, didn't he just finish his?
He graduates in December.
He graduates in December from med school. And it's a lot. You go ahead, Jessica. It's a lot of memorization and terminology and stuff. So what we did this week is just force feeding all of that in there. So into the brain, repetition. And those of you who are getting it really, really quick like that, that's awesome. It's just kind of one of those personality personality gigs that you have that work really well for you. And other people, they have to kind of really remember and reread and stuff. So once you can kind of force that into your brain and get it, it just sticks. Let's see what Miss Ashley had to say. My other Ashley. I've got two Ashleys. I got Miss Dukes. Let me see her. Your brain is old and full. No, honey. I understand, though. I'm flooded in my brain, too. But we are finishing up today's lesson, so this is wonderful. Some of you are going to come to the campus on Tuesday through Friday. You can come 8 in the morning or 8:30 in the morning. Just be there by 8:30. You can stay till 2:30 part-time, or you can stay till 5 and push those hours. You can do more hair cutting in the back. You can watch me haircut again if you want. So anyone who wants to come to the campus, you can sit in the classroom and observe if you want to. Oh yes, the masks. So
yes,
that,
with your mask.
yeah.
You have
Until
to
TDLR gives us that. No, not the Demaya, not the entire playlist. Only the first video that pops up. It looks like a little model. It's got some yellow adipose tissue on the bottom. It's chapter 10. So the mask thing. Did y'all realize? The World Health Organization, the WHO, last night announced that they said, I don't know if these people know it. I don't know who knows what's best for anybody. So everybody has to just do what they want to do. And Stephanie, I'll let you know that that question in a second. They're saying that the masks are not necessary, and they're not doing anything, and healthy people shouldn't have to wear them. So I don't know when TDLR will lift that. I'm sure it's going to. Lauren, I'm sure it will look just fine. And Stephanie, haircutting is 2 full weeks. Now, if you can only attend 1 full week at the campus, make sure it's the first week. So remember, North location is June 16th. That's a Tuesday for haircutting. And South location for haircutting next week with me is going to be June. What is that date? 2nd? Is Tuesday the 2nd?
This is coming Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Tuesday the 2nd. You need to come for haircutting that first week. The second week will do you no good. So, but anyone who wants to come and observe and watch the haircutting all over again, to get out of the house, get away from all this online distance learning. You can go back to distance learning, but it's 1 week or the other. It's really too hard for us to bounce you around. Oh, I see. Little boy. Oh, yeah, those camps. I'm glad that they're out, allowed to do their camps. I know the little kids are looking forward to that. Yes, that's right, Herminia. Perfect. Chandler, we can't breathe through them either. And you know what? People with large pores who perspire a lot because their skin empties sebaceous oil on them, they get really hot. So Randy's really hot. My pores are real tight and small, so I'm kind of dry skinned, which means I'm going to age a little quicker than most of you. But your son is bored. Bless his little heart. I know. You got to get kind of creative and start thinking of some kind of things, to do. Gosh, there's probably a lot of young kids who want a little bit of babysitting money. When my children were little, I paid the little neighbor kid who was 10 years old. I don't know how old your children are, but I paid the little neighbor kid $8 just to come and play. I would do that on a Saturday morning because I got so tired of playing, and they love to play with younger people. Right, Katie? Are you the playmate right now?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's hard. You need to get you a little $8 an hour girl or boy. And the boys have a lot of energy. Oh, grandpa. There we go. Okay. Yes, flat is no problem. That's perfect, Demaya. That's great. Y'all are going to turn in that in a separate email from that 5 o'clock email today so that we note that that's a 2-hour credit. That's a little different. Okay. Start logging off, and I will see y'all at 12 o'clock for our next session. Y'all have a great lunchtime. Drink some water. Go out and walk just a minute, 30 minutes. Go just 30 minutes, little bit of walk, get out there in that fresh air, and get out of the house. Don't just sit there. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get going. Activity, activity, activity. All right. I'm going to get some more work done on reports while I'm on my break from all of you. Go groom your baby doggies. Oh, you're welcome, Victoria. Thank y'all for being online with me. Sure do love y'all. Can't wait to be around you guys in the real world. I'm going to put the mic on mute. So if you need anything while Katie gets this, she gets this roll call going, I'm going to put the mic on mute right now, and I will watch to see if y'all have any additional questions.